Kato, hello and welcome Journal Club listeners. Today I'm bringing to you a recently published paper in October 2023 by the Dutch group from ACTA, the Academic Center of Dentistry, Amsterdam from Netherlands, led by Martens. It's a retrospective case control study under the title of The Effect of Unintentional AH plus Sealer Extrusion on the Resolution of Apical Periodontitis after root canal treatment and retreatment. So the rationale behind the study was the possible impact of AH plus sealer extrusion on apical periodontitis healing. It's still unclear, and as we know that ideally the root canal filling should be confined inside the intraradicular space without extending it to the periapical tissues. However, clinically, the unintentional extrusion of sealer through the apical foramen or lateral canals occur, especially when the modern obturation techniques are used, such as continuous wave or warm vertical compaction. And the influence of the sealer extrusion on the outcome is still a subject of debate and based on contradicting scientific evidence, while some reported in histological studies that when it comes in contact with the periapical tissues, it shows signs of inflammation, and on the other hand, many other clinical studies argue that the extrusion of the sealer does not affect the outcome, and it only slows down the healing process, as reported by Riccucci in 2016 and Goldberg in 2022. So this study was aiming to retrospectively assess the effect of unintentional H plus root canal sealer extrusion on the outcome of the initial and the retreatment root canal treatment cases. For the materials and methods, the subjects were treated at the Department of ACTA by residents from the postgraduate program. The sample consisted of 140 subjects subdivided into group with AH plus sealer extrusion and the other group without the AH plus sealer extrusion. And then they subdivided them into another two groups of 60 subjects per group. The group underwent the initial root canal treatment and the other group which underwent the non-surgical retreatment. For the outcome assessment, the main outcome variable was established through a combination of the clinical and radiographic findings and scored on a 4-point scale as 1 either healed with no clinical signs and symptoms and the lesion is absent, including widened periodontal ligament. The second score was healing with no clinical signs and symptoms and the lesion has reduced in size. And the third score was uncertain. There are no signs or symptoms, but the lesion size remained unchanged. And the fourth score, the non-healing, the lesion is unchanged or increased in size, and there are symptoms regardless of the lesion size. Coming to the results, this bar chart of outcome distribution per group shows the first group with sealer extrusion after 1 year follow-up, that is highlighted in the darker purple shade. There were 41.7% of the cases were healed, and slightly higher percentage of 46.7% was healing, and only 1.7 was non-healing, and 10% of them were uncertain. And the other group, the group that had no H plus sealer extrusion, had 46.7 cases healed, and 38.3 was healing, and 6.7 was non-healing. So we can conclude from these results that the outcome of the initial root canal treatment and retreatment was not affected by the presence of the AH plus sealer extrusion. And the dichotomized results showed a favorable outcome in 88.4% of the cases with the extruded sealer group, and on the other hand, a slightly less percentage of 85% with in the group that had no sealer extrusion. And however, there was a significant difference in the percentage of the favorable outcome, the dichotomized outcome, between the initial root canal treatment and retreatment, with 95.8% favorable outcome in the initial and 73.5% in the retreatment cases. And despite not being the initial aim of the study, it was interesting to observe a significant statistical difference between the favorable outcome of the initial and the retreatment cases. And this lower rate of apical periodontitis healing in the retreatment cases seen in this study can be explained by the resistance of bacteria and also in the retreatment of previous iatrogenic damage or presence of sealer, which cannot be completely removed, that allows for a thorough cleaning and disinfecting of the root canal system, in addition to the fact that intraradicular infection caused by extraradicular biofilm can increase the root canal treatment failure. And the existing literature addressing the root canal serial extrusion in apical periodontitis cases is not consistent with the current finding. As a recent systematic review and meta-analysis by Amina Sharia in 2022 reported that the extruded sealer had 32% higher risk of contributing to a non-healing outcome, which goes against the results of this study. And despite that, the systematic review did not differentiate between the overextension of gut aperture and overfilling with the root canal sealer, which can explain the different conclusions, as it is of great importance to differentiate between the terms overfilling and overextension, as they are not synonyms. The study concluded that the extrusion of H. sealer did not have an impact on the outcome of either initial treatment or retreatment. The study has major limitations, with a short recall period, which was only 1 year, and it retrospective in nature, requires a further consideration for interpreting the clinical data, and the well-controlled prospective studies are needed to ensure that the selection bias is minimized. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.